Lions Vikings Sunday. There's nowhere for you guys to hide anymore. You can't hide on Reddit. You can't hide on social media. You can't hide even in our little chat room right here, just popping up and dropping a quick comment and then cutting away real quick. Nowhere for you guys to hide now. You ain't playing the Jaguars. You're not playing the Colts. You're not playing pretty much your entire schedule that you had this year. Oh, by the way, congrats to the 49ers for getting the Vikings schedule next year. But I digress. D-Mac, it's time. There's nowhere to go now. Look, and I know we're going to spend the next probably hour talking about it. But for them, the time for talk is over. Mm-hmm. You guys get everything that you want right now, Vikings fans. Right. You get everything you want, D-Mac. I can't wait for Sunday night. Can't wait.
We all can't. I mean, you saw it from the minute that football game was done Monday. Jared Goff, Dan Campbell, from his post-game locker room to the team. This is why you're a professional athlete and you play for these games, right? This is the epitome, and because of what it means into where you want to go. What's the one saying we hear from them all the time? This team is in our way from the goals that we have. So I mean, you can't, shout out to Minnesota and everybody goes, oh, we weren't supposed to be here and expected. Yeah, okay, but you are, and congratulations. Now everything's set up for us. If you told me before the beginning, isn't that the age-old question about anything in life, is that if you told me this at the beginning of the season that you'd be playing Minnesota for not only first place for the division but for home field advantage, and you're both 14-2, who's not taking it?
Correct.
Bet it up, right? You've done everything you've done, and everybody knows. So I know that my team, I know the Detroit Lions, I know my coaches and everything that are prepared for this. And that attitude, and that I see this word come out a lot. Petty. Hell yeah, we're petty.
100%.
Million we're petty. There's no bigger, pettier person on this station than that man right there.
Oh, you guys know. You guys already know. It's time.
Dude,
it's time.
So you know what? Talk about that, Neal, because you could talk about that. Tone, pettiness, to whatever that. When you want the smoke, like, that's the whole thing. You don't just let it happen around you. You invite it in and you bring it. And this is everything not only that the team wants, this is everything the organization wants, the city wants, us as fans want. You have to, in order to be successful and to figure it out, you got to do it the hard way and do it against the best, right? And for what this means moving forward, like, that's what you're sitting there going, we got one game.
You're right.
One freaking game. And then, we'll figure it out. How can you not get excited? To be excited. And that's the difference between being nervous and being excited. Then, first thing out of Dan Campbell's mouth, AG's going to have a great game plan. We know what this game's going to be. It's going to be a shootout. But can we turn the ball over? Can we turn Darnold over? I know.
Absolutely.
I know,
yes.
Right? The implosion. Right? The Minnesota, the Penn States, the Iowas, they're going to do their thing. And we're doing it at home. And here's the thing. We've already lost that home game, right, this year to Buffalo.
More at home
that stung. And to Tampa earlier.
Yep.
Right? We lost in a big game on Thanksgiving. That shit sits in your crawl. That's when you think about when it comes up. Do not let this opportunity pass you by.
Now, here's the deal, too. Before I go all in.
Uh-oh, ISO.
Give me the rock.
Yeah, I got you.
Before I go all in, I do want to put this disclaimer out there. Woodward Sports chat thread, jump into there. Go ahead and use the super chat as well, Rando Smalls.
Yes. You have to read that before you do your diatribe.
Rando Smalls in the super chat. If you want to jump the line, go ahead and go that route. Look up the definition of petty. There's a picture of Neal. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year. Shift God OTC. Time to shut these purple Fs up Sunday, 100%. Now, before I get to this, let me put the disclaimer out there. You guys know how I like to do this and look at these things from this angle. I like to look what really is, right? Everybody is going to be caught up in this grand scope of things. Like, this is literally Super Bowl Junior. Yeah. That is how everybody's going to view this game. And social media will melt down with every play the Lions give up and overreact with every play the Lions make. Let's just clear this out. Let's just clear the air right now. This is what's on the line for Sunday in this. Your season's not over if you lose. Both sides. The Vikings, all of it. Now, the Viking season will be over because they've proven that that's what happens to them. But anyway, I digress. Stop, Neal. Okay, I'll stop. All right, here's what's on the line.
He teasing. That's the appetizer.
Tangibly on the line here. The winner is the number 1 seed, gets a bye, and probably gets to host the team again in 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. That's what's on the line. That's it. Like, you can talk about a division title. It doesn't matter. That stuff doesn't matter anymore. The 1 seed and a bye, you don't have to play. And as I always like to say, D-Mac, you can't lose if you don't play. That's on the line. And home field when these two teams play each other again, provided that when Minnesota loses on Sunday, that they can actually win a playoff game instead of, like losing to Daniel Jones and the Giants like they did at home before. I digress. What? That's what happened. I didn't lose to Daniel Jones. Ball.
Yeah, right.
Ball. No,
See, I'm just kicking it back.
But that is all that's on the line. That's it. For real. Because I think we've made strides as a fan base this year in this respect, D-Mac. And we've talked about this a lot here. When you have a good team, you have to be good team fan adjacent, D-Mac. You have to understand. You don't see Chiefs fans dying with every bad play and living with every good play and going all in. We're getting to the point where it's going to dictate the season. All of this is just a big time waster until we get to the playoffs. That's what all this is. So when the Lions win Sunday night, you won't see me in here acting the fool and talking to the Vikings fans and stuff like that. They are not relevant to us. They are not on our level. The Minnesota Vikings as an organization are not what the Detroit Lions is. Top to bottom. They are not. They don't even belong on the same field as us. They don't. They don't belong in the same draft room as us. None of it. They are not equals. They not like us, D-Mac. All right? So with that being said, yeah, the Lions are going to win and it's going to be fun. But even if they didn't, the final chapter is not written. And D-Mac, that's where I go. I am not going to be in the business of making too much of this even when they win. I'm not for real. Business as usual, D-Mac. Business as usual. This isn't some end-all be-all for me. This is business as usual.
Well, you know what it is, right? You know where it's big. It's big for the city. It's big for the economy to be able to win this game and to host, 2 playoff games, hopefully, right? To have it come through. But at the end of the day, there's a security net there. Right? You've made the playoffs regardless, right? It's just which is your pathway. And the pathway, right, with this. And to your point, Neal, I got a team that knows how to play on the road. An 8-0 team on the road. The easier path for them is to rest guys, to get 100%. Guys back, to have it back, to play at home, to the way that we have a track meet in here, to not worry about having to go outside, having to have the showdown with, as everybody says, Philadelphia for the NFC Championship. If that's the way it's going to be, you'd rather have it indoors than outdoors. Right? So it's just the pathway. But at the end of the day, you can't make the sky is falling or it's the end of the world if you lose, because it's not. It's a fork in the road. When you can make it a lot easier for yourself, you don't have to travel, you can practice, you know what I'm saying? Like why you work all year to make yourself comfortable. So again, I'll revert back to is that this team is in the way for what their plans were. Their plans is winning this division and having home, more importantly, the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Ronnie Goated, noted Vikings fan in the chat, because they don't have any good sports media in Minneapolis. So that's why he's here right now in Michigan's number 1 sports network. Ronnie Goated, Lions play the Rams, it's over. What data do you have? Every time we play the Rams, we cook them. See, this is where you guys, this is where I can't deal with you guys, because you talk dumb shit like that. Based on what? Just based on like when we play you guys. We can spot you 10 in your building, and it doesn't matter. We still win that game. You are a non-factor, Ronnie Goated, and the Minnesota Vikings organization. You are a non-factor. You are merely an inconvenience, a way to pass the time until the playoffs start, where real franchises step in and start chasing after Super Bowls and things like that. You don't have to worry about that. You have Sam Darnold at quarterback. That's what you have. He's in the Pro Bowl, Neal. Yeah, I know he is. Cool story, bro. You think, okay, fine.
Uh-oh.
Vikings fans, you think that you're going to walk into Ford Field on Sunday night with all the stuff that's this regular season stuff that's online. You think you're going to walk in here with Sam Darnold and beat the Lions? Like you think that, like in your mind, like you guys believe that. And that's the thing. That's the thing that fires me up. You guys believe that. D-Mac, they think that. They think that Sam Darnold is going to walk into Ford Field and beat the Lions. They honestly think that in their mind. Help them, D-Mac. They're delusional. Help them. Do you have any words of advice?
Like I get it. And I mean, this is going to be...
I don't get it.
This is going to be constant, as Burns says in the chat. It said it feels like this game matters more for the next 5 to 10 years in the NFC. Now that these teams are going away, both fan bases hold deep grudges. Yeah, it's going to be like this against it. But you're not coming in. I'll tell you. You're not coming into a Dan Campbell-led team when this is all at stake, when they prepared all year for this, to whatever your nice little story with your nice little quarterback and all your great receivers and stuff like this, and they're not going to lose this game. This is as big as that they know, and they're embracing that. So come on in. They know they got to punch these guys in the face every time they see them, everybody in this division for the next 5 years, as Burns says, because this will be – I mean – like, let's give it a shout out to I like their team. I like their coach. I love the fact that their coach believes that, like Dan Campbell, it's about coaching your players and put them in the best possible spot. But again, Neal, you nailed it. They're not to where we are yet, and they will never be. They are for lack of a better term, go back to the 90s, 2000s. They are the Chicago Blackhawks, the St. Louis Blues, the Winnipeg Jets, Phoenix Coyotes, to the Detroit Red Wings, which means you're irrelevant until you prove to me that you're not. And it's not going to be this weekend.
Tyler Jonas, dude, Darnold is legit. Stop it. Yeah, he's legit when you're playing the Giants and the Jets and the Jaguars and the Titans and the Bears twice and the Cardinals. Yeah, he's legit then.
And struggling against them.
He's legit. Again, guys, you're talking about you're looking at this whole thing right here. Here's what matters. Sunday night, NBC, walking into Ford Field. You think he's going to walk in here and beat Jared Goff and the Lions? That's what you're saying. Like, when you say it out loud, doesn't it sound stupid? Here's what you're banking on right now when you make that statement. Sam Darnold will go into Ford Field on Sunday night with the number 1 seed in the NFC on the line. And he's going to go in there and outduel Jared Goff and beat the Lions.
If that doesn't resonate with you as a Viking to go, oh, wow, that's what we're up against. And
that's what you are up against.
Sam Darnold is not going to come in, and he's had a great year, but be the difference, which he has to be. Who's going to be more of a difference? Jared Goff. Going in history. Yeah. And in a big game, who's going to be more nervous? Who's the atmosphere and who's the moment gonna get to more? Right? I gotta think that our guys playing in our building with knowing the atmosphere, with what's at stake in the preparation, business as usual. You know, like, do you not look at it like back in Rome and the gladiator going to the arena? Here's the guy that's been there 50 times, and here's the guy his first time. Right, like, I mean, there's something to it, and I don't think it's disrespectful. But at the end of the day, Sam Darnold, his history tells me that when the big moment, he's gonna fold.
The biggest game he's ever played in his life is the Rose Bowl in college. He hasn't played in a game of this magnitude in the NFL yet, and that's a big deal. He's going to choke under that pressure. This is for the 1 seed. This is the entire Vikings Super Bowl hopes, is winning this game and getting home field advantage, even though it's pitiful their Super Bowl hopes in the first place.
Hey Neal.
Yes.
Ronnie goated. This dude threw 5 picks, and you all think he's a top 2 QB.
Sam Darnold or
Sam Darnold has more interceptions than Jared Goff this year.
You know he's referring to the Texans game, which
Yeah,
is
one
not a
game.
key detail.
And did they win that game? Like, do you not understand that this might go to whatever else? The end of the day, it's about Detroit Lions beating. It's not about who's got the the Detroit Lions are a better team, and I think at the end of the day, from what I've seen in the history of Sam Darnold, is that, and maybe this is his shot coming out moment. I just don't think it is.
And to Ronnie Goated, he claims that Jared Goff sucks. He claims that Jared Goff is terrible, but Jared Goff has more yards, more touchdowns, less interceptions, a better QBR, and a better completion percentage than Sam Darnold this year.
How about
Jared
a better
Goff, the
career?
starting NFC Pro Bowl starter.
If Jared Goff sucks, what does that mean Sam Darnold? Right?
He has a better career, period.
But that's what these Vikings fans are, because people popping in here. You guys let Justin Jefferson cook you all every time. Hey, sick 81 yards he had in the first matchup. Sick, bro.
Yeah.
Sick.
Ain't we 7-1 against the Vikings?
And check Justin Jefferson's record against the Lions in his career. So, go ahead. Set your single game receiving record for the Vikings. That's cute. We'll win.
And that's all we want. Like, at the end of the day, it ain't about numbers, stats, or whatever like this. It's about winning the game.
Woodward Sports chat thread, get into there. Ryan's reaction: without the Texans' 5-interception game, Goff wins the MVP award. So, and again, none of that stuff matters. And we got a topic we're going to get to in the next segment that doesn't matter. BD3, Kirby Joseph didn't make the Pro Bowl on the Super Chat. That is what we're going to get into coming up in just a couple of minutes. Detroit Arrow and a rookie held him to 81 yards too. But this is the delusion that Vikings fans live in every single day. And I'll go back to it, everybody. Hey, Vikings fans, what have you ever done? What has a Minnesota Vikings franchise ever done? For real. I can think of the great collapses in NFL history, and they're affiliated with those, being 15-1, losing in the playoffs, choking in the playoffs all the time, losing to Daniel Jones in the playoffs a mere couple seasons ago. Who are they to come in here and talk anything about anybody in the NFL? For real. Based on what? Sam Darnold's your quarterback, guys. Sam Darnold. I do. You know what? I do love that we're doing this Sunday night.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up at the watch party.
Oh.
I'm pulling up.
Shout out.
Y'all done did it now.
I'm pulling up.
Y'all done did it now.
Dude, Neal pulls up and that bottle's half empty.
Yeah.
Oh,
Get the
look
tallers
out.
ready.
It's going to be egregious.
Get the tallers ready.
Get them. Yeah, line them up, everybody.
Neal, I want to see you drink enough to where you start talking so much ish.
Oh my god.
I know you
I
say
don't
it
need- I don't
doesn't-
need that to
I
do
know
that.
you say it doesn't matter and you don't
Yeah.
want to
No,
do
but
that.
drunk Neal would
but
be hilarious.
the only
Yeah.
thing I want is just for you to rip Vikings fans to shred after we hang like a 10-point win on them.
They're one of the biggest choking franchises in the history of the NFL. Think about that. What have you done? For Vikings fan, what have you done that warrants you to be in any position to talk other than have the Lions beat the piss out of you repeatedly? I'll never understand it, D-Mac. I won't. This is like Michigan fan vibes this season,
all
man.
right.
All
Relax.
right,
Relax.
We at least won an Addy, okay?
We not out there going to the media. Why are you talking about Ohio State? I'm sick of them. Y'all need to be talking about us.
Let's devalue the rivalry.
Jason Evans, Neal, just look into the camera and tell them to F off. No, I want their reasons. For real, I want their reasons.
I
That's
got a
it.
chance to prove it, man. Coming to Ford Field, shut us up.